Alright folks, we got a storm moving in central Kentucky. Just thought I'd share some of these lightning strikes with you. Yeah, I know I shouldn't be out here. Trust me, I'm a certified storm spotter. I'm one of those fools that runs towards the storm while everyone else is running away from it. Yeah, it's probably dumb, but that's me. That's how I do it. Let's move around and see if we can get a better shot here. Ooh. So I don't know if you can see them or not, but this is the first night that I've seen lightning bugs, or some people call them fireflies. So you might see some little lights light up and disappear. Besides the lightning, we've got some fireflies or lightning bugs. Spring is definitely sprung around Kentucky, that's for sure. There's some really dark clouds above us here. I'm trying to lighten it up a little bit. Maybe you can see the clouds, but I don't think it's going to let me. So there's a light breeze blowing, so there might be a little bit of wind noise. I apologize for the noise. Behind me are the woods. All the weird stuff's been going on. Been hearing tree knocks. And very big sticks being broken. Ooh. And sounds like footsteps out there sometimes. Well, I know I've got some cats that like to tromp around in the woods. Yeah, there's one right now. These footsteps sound much bigger than a cat, so I'm not really sure what's going on back there, but we're going to investigate that in a different video. Right now, I just thought I'd share some storm footage with you before it dumps the rain on me or gets too gnarly for me to be out here. I trained as a Skywarn storm spotter at WYMT-TV in Hazard, Kentucky. Met a bunch of great people, the weather anchors, and several other staff members of WYMT-TV, and the National Weather Service, or NOAA, and we got some valuable training. Here are the frogs. So I'm at not quite the very top of the property, but I'm on the next lot above my house, so it actually goes further into the woods. Of course, you can't see that right now, but we have a pretty good bird's eye view of storms when they come through this valley. And there's my house down there. So I have a few minutes before all hell breaks loose. It's definitely the right time of the year, and Kentucky gets some pretty gnarly, storms. But hear the rain. Ooh, wow. Yeah, it's the kind of stuff I like, though, actually. Yeah, I know, I should be in the house where it's safe. Now, one thing that's, that they wanted to stress during our training is that tornadoes at night are one of the hardest things to spot. We still have a little bit of daylight, and actually, the moon right now is lighting up the backs of the clouds. So the tops of the clouds are being lit up. I think we got a new moon tonight, I think. So that's lighting up the clouds, but it's really hard to see. This camera just does not do night shots very well at all. So you might be able to hear the rain. Looks like the lightning bugs had enough sense to go in somewhere where it's safe. I don't see them twinkling anymore. So, wow, those are big drops, and it's cold. It's really cold rain. I think it's about in the 60s right now. Feels like about 66 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's pretty nice out here. Let's see if I can get some more lightning shots and then head into the house before I get drenched. Wow, yeah, it's crazy. Normally, during a storm like this, depending on what NOAA's reports say on NOAA Weather Radio, normally I would go out in my Jeep. Now let's head back to the house. Normally I would get in my Jeep and I would drive around within 5 miles of my home and keep an eye out for flooding or tornadoes or some kind of wind damage, anything like that. But I currently don't have a vehicle, so I do my storm spotting at home for the time being. It's not as much fun as chasing the storm, but wow, that lit up that lit it up like daylight. I'm going to get under the cedar tree for a minute, stand next to the John Deere. Excuse me. I don't know if I'll be able to upload this video tonight or not. Depends on whether we lose power or not. But our utility company has done a pretty good job of clearing the trees and the limbs and stuff away from the power lines. And that's not to say that somebody won't maybe slip on a wet road and run into a pole, knock the power out, or the lightning hit you know, a pole. But it used to be that we hardly ever had trouble losing power here during a storm. It had to be pretty, you know, it had to be a really, you know, just a hell of a storm to knock the power out here. But here recently, it's happened more often than I care to mention. So, but as I said, wow. As I said, you know, Inter-County Electric here in Central Kentucky has done a pretty good job clearing all the brush and the trees and stuff from the power lines. So, hats off to them. So I'm under the cedar tree, and I wish you could see it. There's just no light up here on the hill, and it's like an umbrella. So I'm dry right now. See down there towards the road, there's a couple houses down there. That's actually pretty peaceful sounding right there, that rain. Hopefully that's coming through on the phone. Yeah, ever since I was about 18 years old or maybe younger, I've been fascinated by storms and weather. And when I had the opportunity to take training as a storm spotter, I jumped right on it. And of course it was free. So why not, right? It's always important to have a weather alert radio that is tuned to the national, wow, is tuned to the National Weather Service, NOAA weather radio. And, you know, they sound an alarm in your house, and the radio, you usually just press a button, or the radio will automatically give you the announcement, and they'll tell you about the storms that are moving into your area. If there's potential for tornadoes and you're currently in a watch, which means you're looking out for tornadoes, you know, usually the National Weather Service will report that first, and then they will say in the announcement, storm spotters may be, we may, you know, they may activate storm spotters. So what we have is a phone number that we call, and I call up to Louisville, Kentucky, the National Weather Service up there, and if I see a tornado touch down, or flooding, or straight line winds destroy something, and you know, just any kind of weather anomaly that causes damage or could possibly pose a threat to people, then I would, storm spotters are given that phone number. We dial the National Weather Service office and tell them what's going on. Has there been any damage yet? Is there potential for, uh, you know, safety concerns for the public, and then they pass that along on the radio, on the National Weather Service weather radio, and your cell phones, and say, look, there's a tornado warning or a flash flood warning for your area, and you need to seek shelter immediately. And that's what storm spotters do. And we call up the the office in Louisville, and we report that stuff, and then they relay it over the radio, and they send the tone, which is a silent tone, to your weather alert capable weather radio. And of course it lets out that loud blaring siren, and you press a button on your radio, and they'll tell you what's going on in your area. One thing to keep in mind, if you decide to if you haven't bought a weather radio, I suggest that you do it. And one radio that I think that's probably the best is by Midland. And no, I'm not sponsored by Midland. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But get the WR120 by Midland, and it has same technology, SAME, as Sierra Alpha Mike Echo, same technology.
So I decided to come in the house. I just thought maybe it would be better to get in and out of the rain, the lightning. But as I was saying, with the WR120 Midland weather radio, you get the same technology. And what that does is you punch in a code for your specific area, and your weather radio will ignore alerts from other counties and only target your county. So you won't have to worry about what's happening, in the next county over, or 3 counties over, 30 miles away. It will target your specific area according to that code. And the nice thing about the WR120 by Midland is all those codes are already pre-programmed into the radios. So what you do is you go to the National Weather Service and type in same codes. And when you get to that web page, you will pull up your area, your state, and your county. And then you put in your zip code and your county, and then it will give you a list of codes, and there should be only 1 or 2 codes for your area, so that's very specific. You won't have to listen to reports from other parts of a state, just in your area alone. So that's really nice feature to have. And of course that alarm on those things are really loud, and I have one of the radios myself, and it's reliable. So you might want to look into that. Whether you're a prepper or not, you're just in an area that's prone to severe storms. It's a good idea to have a national weather radio with the same technology. And again, I'm not sponsoring Midland, and they don't sponsor me, although I wouldn't be opposed to the idea. But Midland makes a great weather radio. That's the So it seems like the cats had different plans, and they didn't include me working on a video. So as I was saying, the WR120 by Midland, look into that. I think you can get it pretty inexpensive at Amazon or the Midland website. So they may have other models out now, but the WR120 is pretty popular, and it's reliable. It does run off AC or battery, so keep that in mind. As you can see on the radar that I have pulled up here, still another round of storms. You can see that large. That's the Midland WR120. As you can see on the radar that I have pulled up, it looks like we have a few more storms moving into my area, and some of them have passed on to southern Kentucky and into northern Tennessee. So northeastern Tennessee looks like you're going to be getting some storms, or, well, by the time this video comes out, it will have already passed. But yeah, but anyway, you can see another line of storms right behind what has already rained down on me here. So we have a little break. It looks like it might be about a 30-minute break. So we're good for the night for now anyway. But it's always good to be prepared for any situation, and that includes weather. And that's one of the reasons why I became a storm spotter. So if you're kind of interested in becoming a storm spotter, you can go to the National Weather Service website, and in their search box inside the website, type in Skywarn. That's SKYWARN Storm Spotter classes, and you can actually take these classes online. They're free, and or you can actually show up in person next time they have a weather class. So you might want to look into that on their website. So you can go to their website, look that stuff up yourself, and decide whether you want to show up in person and take the classes, or perhaps study online. And they have a great study course. It's pretty easy to follow along with. So it would be a pretty good, I think it would be a pretty useful skill to have. If nothing else, if you don't decide to report to the National Weather Service, then you can always use this for safety for your family and your friends, and let them know what's going on with the weather at the time. So I think it's a pretty useful skill. I'm glad I took the training. I appreciate you stopping in, watching this video. I hope you learned something, and if nothing else, he saw that I don't have enough common sense to come in out of the lightning. With that said, you have a good evening, day, morning, or night. And keep your head on swivel. Stay safe out there.